All right, so I have 0 viewers viewing this. But I figured I'd just do a live video so you can see that I'm being honest about picking the winner. But yeah, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to pick a winner for this book right here. This is the giveaway. All you had to do was comment in the one where I went monetized. Hit 1,000 subs, which is the same as going monetized. So that's all you had to do. So I'm going to pick a winner for this. Now, this is the first time I've ever done this, so I'll probably mess up. But I do know that I commented back on everyone, and so my name might come up, I guess, since I'm also in the comments. But if my name comes up, obviously I'm a redo. I'm not going to give it to myself. That'd be pretty dumb. But I did enjoy all the comments that I did get. There's artists I didn't know, so I looked every single one up to check out the person's artist. I saw a lot of Todd McFarlane. I would say that would be the most common. Probably the next most common would be Jack Kirby. Ken Lachey was up there as well, which I was surprised by that. No Ditkos, a couple Neil Adams, a couple Bernie Wrightsons, quite a few Sterenkos, which during that, I guess that period, I like Sterenko the best. Like if you had to put him next to like Jack Kirby or Steve Ditko or Neil Adams, I would go with Sterenko personally. But yeah, it was fun looking at everyone's comments and hearing their stories. Some people told stories of why they picked a certain person. So I thought that was cool. Oh, there's people in here. What? Okay. Hello. I can't, for some reason I can't type. I don't know why. This is the first time I've ever used this program. It's like OBS Streamlabs or something like that. But anyways, so it was fun seeing all the people that put in their stories about how they got it as a kid, so they always had attachment. So that was fun. I liked that stuff, and I responded to every single person. So yeah, and I got to see a lot of cool artists that I may have not known about. A lot of new ones. I know most of all the older ones, just being in the business for so long. But yeah, so like I said, oh yeah, I love Death and Robots. It's a great show, great show. I love it. I love all the weird art that they have and how it's different artists and it's like short stories. I don't know if you guys ever read Strange Tales or Journey to Mystery, like the older Marvel books, but they'd always have in the back, they would have like some weird sci-fi story, and it was the one that always pops in my mind. I don't remember what it is. It's a Strange Tales, maybe 93. I don't know. I can't remember. But there's this one where this guy finds this photo of Abominable Snowman that someone comes and he's like, look, I found a photo of Abominable Snowman. And the guy like becomes obsessed with it. So he's like, I'm going to find him. I'm going to be the first person to find it and capture this thing. And he goes out in the snow and he just gets... He doesn't eat, he doesn't do anything, he gets so obsessed with finding the Abominable Snowman that he later just, his hair grows, he becomes like all houched over and like all this kind of stuff, and he later then, some other hiker sees him and takes a picture of him, and he becomes the Abominable Snowman. It's kind of weird. It's cool, but do you think the Red Guardian's first appearance book will go up in value? The Red Guardian, the Red Guardian, is that are you talking about, was that Avengers 43? Is that the one you're talking about? the guy who is Hellboy, and he's also in Stranger Things. David, right? Is that his name? David something. If that's what you're, I think that book. The problem with like, it's like with hype books when everyone knows about the hype, then that's kind of like at its peak. So I always say like, depending, like if all of a sudden he turns out to be the greatest, like Kano was in Mortal Kombat, like really cool, and the fans respond to him, and they're like, hey, we're gonna make a spin-off, or we're gonna put him in the next movie, then he has legs and he goes on. But if he's just like a one and done, then and he's not in it that much, and he's not very popular, then it kind of peaks. Probably right around, well, with Black Widow it's different because the movie was supposed to come out years ago, but let's say the movie was supposed to come out in July and we got our first real look trailer in like March, like a little bit after that, that's when it'll be peak, unless the character becomes huge or something like that, like, but it usually has like this little thing, but it'll always continue to go up. The Abominable Snowman story, yeah, I always for some reason remember that one, so it's cool. But all right, so let's do this giveaway. I don't know if you've entered. Okay, so we're on this thing. Let's go to this video. This is the video. Let's copy this video, and then we're gonna put it in here. Get the data, include replies. No, we don't want replies because that will just give multiple people multiple chances if they've replied a bunch of times, and also include me. All right, allow duplicates. No duplicates. All right, here we go. All right, we got 102 comments because the other 120 were me. So that's good. All right, here we go. Here's the winner. The winner is K. Titus. All right, and he picked my favorite book is Hulk 181 because my two favorite characters, Hulk and Wolverine. Good choices, good choices, good choices. So K. Titus, you are the winner. I will comment on you on how to get a hold of me. So, but yeah, so that is the winner of this giveaway. The reason why I picked this is because I hit 1,000 subscribers, and it's actually 1,000, and it's one of my favorite artists, Jacques. It could be Jock. I'm assuming it's foreign, so it's Jacques. I don't know. I could be saying that wrong. Maybe someone will correct me. But yeah, so that is the winner. Yeah, I'll probably do more giveaways in the future. It was fun. But I mean, maybe when I get to 1 million, there's one. Maybe Action Comics will be up to 1 millionth issue. I don't know. That'd be funny. But yeah, so I got a few more. I'm gonna see if you guys see this on my phone. I got a few more things coming up that I'm gonna be working on. I did say in one of my videos I was gonna do. CGC's just been messing up recently. I don't know if you can. Let's see if I can try to get a good picture. I don't know if you can see this. See that crack? That was a brand new book we just got in. It was sent like this. If you can see there, see they took basically a magazine size one and they stuffed it in there and it cracked. It was I'll show you the book. And this was the book. Batman, oops. Old Batman. Batman 7. I've had every batch now we get a cracked case. So I'm going to do a video on that. I was going to wait until they resolved a bunch of issues, but that could take forever. They're supposed to, we sent it in a book, and they destroyed the book. They didn't just crack the case, they destroyed it, like mangled. And so we're going to see what happened with that, but that's going to be, we'll get to it when we get to it, so it could be months. So, do you have a West Coast first? Yes, I do. I do have quite a few. I have First White Vision. I have a 9/8 up currently. I also have a bunch at CGC, and I should be getting any of. I probably have like 8 coming back from CGC, all between Probably anywhere from a 9.2 to a 9.8, but I do currently have a 9.8 up. We can probably look at it. Let's see, unless it's sold. Let's see, Avengers. Now, for all you don't know, this is my website. There we go. Yep, we got it. So yeah, we have one. We have a bunch more coming back as well. Yeah, so yeah, I do have quite a few. With that book, I was a little hesitant at first because a lot of times with those shows, like think of Fantastic Four '94, first Agatha Harkness, who was in the WandaVision show. Yeah, she was really popular, but now if you just look at the trends, I can go to the GPA. If you look at the trends of, say, that book, since the show is done and over with, and they're not doing a season 2, not from what I know. Let's see, 94. Yeah. See if there's a recent sale. Yeah. So here we go. Look at this. So this was in the last 90 days. It was averaging 450. One sold in April. So after the show. These were in February. These are in March. I think the show was still going on in March. But if you look at April, way under. Look at another April, way under. This only has one sale. 150, a little high. Okay, so it's right in a, but it is going to drop. It says all greens now because a lot of these are from February, last sale, March, January. So it's gonna go down. So that's what happens with a lot of times when the hype is gone for the show, it starts to wane. So yeah. I was a little worried about that with White Vision, but at the end of it, spoiler alert, cover your ears, at the end of it, he is the only Vision, is the White Vision. That's the only one because the red and yellow Vision disappears and the White Vision merges with the normal Vision and they become one-ish, but at the same time he disappears because Scarlet Witch has to let him go because it's just like a figment of imagination with her powers. So I do think that White Vision, I love the Vision. Paul Bettany plays him. I hope he continues. Me personally, if I was in any of these positions, to be any superhero or supervillain, I would refuse to stop playing him for the rest of my life. Until they would have to like come and chain me and pull me away from playing that character. But so I think there's still room. So with the White Vision, I don't think it will drop off like Fantastic Four '94. What are your thoughts on CBCS verified slabs? Do you think they are valuable as non-verified slabs or in the same grade? Or do you think they're as valuable as non-verifieds? So I'm assuming you're talking about the verified signatures. Yeah, they'll get a little bit more. I don't understand why CGC doesn't do the verified signatures. But I think people are coming around to the fact that because CGC only existed until early 2000s, what happens to all the signatures that you get that are way before that I can look at it and I'm like, yep, that's Stanley. I don't even need to think about it. I know what a signature looks like. I've seen so many of them. Jack Kirby, Joe Snott, all that stuff. I can look at it and tell. So you could hire an expert, but I don't know. There has to be some financial gain because I know you have to go there to a signing and pay money. But you think they would just, if you paid an extra $10 to get it verified, you get a whole new slew of signatures coming in. Maybe that's what they're going to do in the future. Like I always said, there's only so many comics you can grade. Once they get the best grade they get, they will be forever slabbed. This will never be cracked out and ever sent back. So once that's graded, they're gone. So eventually CGC is only going to be grading brand new comic books because all old comic books are going to be graded and you can't make new old comic books. So maybe by then to increase money, they'll be like, oh, we'll do a verified thing, $25 to verify your signature. So I do think CBCS are slightly more valuable if it's verified versus non-verified, because you get the people that want it verified, and they'll pay a little more for that. So you think any of the new characters in the Black Widow movies, first appearance comics, will go up a lot, like the first appearance Black Widow sister, she's in the Black movie? Do I think? It really depends how the movie does. If the movie is a bomb, which I don't think it will be, but if it is, then, because comic books is all supply and demand, and if the movie is a massive success, and you have people that normally didn't collect comic books go, man, I really want to get, I don't know, pick a character that's in the movie, you know, I really want to get Black Widow. And it made like $2 billion in the box office. Now you have people all around the world going, wow, Black Widow's the coolest ever. And I know she's dead, so that, spoiler alert. So that kind of hinders her. But if it was another character, you know, like Taskmaster, right? Avengers 196, right? And they're like, oh, he's the coolest character in the world. And then they're like, oh, we're going to do a spin-off, a Taskmaster origin movie, right? Or a TV show or something like that. Then his book will go up in value because the hype is higher, the demand is higher, and there's only so many Avengers 196 out there and for sale. And so that's how you see it. But if the movie bombs and they have no plans of making a Taskmaster movie or TV show, or he's going to appear in any other movie ever again, then it'll start to wane, and you'll get, like, imagine this is the graph of it's getting more expensive over time, right? If you went back into the 90s, Avengers 196 was worth less than it is now, regardless of the hype from the movie. You'll get this big bump, right, of value, and that's where because of the movie. But you could get a big bump, come down slightly, but then it continues to go up higher than it normally should, up here instead of down here, because he's going into movies and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah. But yeah. Thanks for watching. So I can't remember. Something Titus is the winner. Because I'm seeing verified CGC live selling for less than CGC blue labels. Oh, okay. So CBCS will always sell less than its counterpart for CGC. That's just the way it is. A lot of people, after I made that video of how CGC was making me upset, was because it's just what it is. I have many customers that will come to me and say, I love the book, I want this book, but can you crack it out and send it to CGC, because I only collect CGC books, or I only trust CGC. Oh, jeez. Need some water. And so then we would have to take the risk of sending it to CGC, possibly getting a lower grade, and then, you know, reselling it. Also, on top of that, we have CGC books that, on average, it takes us about 150 days to sell. Just pick a random book, average them out. CBCS was like 200. It's way... CBCS just doesn't have the same hold on the industry as CGC does. And it is what it is. And it would just take time. CGC came out in what, like 04 or something like that? So they have 10, 12, 15 years, I don't even know when CBCS started, on CBCS. So they have that built-in audience. So it's going to be hard. It's going to take a long time. And I don't know if it'll honestly ever get there unless CGC keeps messing up like they are. Mysterio from Fat From Home, huh? From Far From Home. His first appearance went up so much, and also, do you know who is going to be the villain in the new Spider-Man movie, No Way Home? Yeah, Mysterio went up a lot because, number one, he didn't die at the end, and they're making a Sinister Six movie. So, Mysterio will be coming back. And that movie made like $1 billion. And people loved Mysterio. So, it's not like people hated him. So, he will return. It's also Jake Gyllenhaal. So, you're not going to, you know, throw that actor away when you have Jake Gyllenhaal under your belt. I think he's won Academy Awards. So, he did really well. I love that movie. That movie was great. That scene where he was in, like, his his visions or whatever. They made all those visions, made him big and small, and put him in a grave, and all like little Easter eggs. Was that? Was it Spectacular Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man with the Kraven the Hunter? Kraven the Hunter. He is going to be the next villain, I believe. If not, if not this movie, the following movie, and I believe it's going to be Keanu Reeves. That's who I think it's going to be. There's some rumors speculating that he's going to be Kraven the Hunter, so that would be cool. And he's a classic Spider-Man villain. Yes, Mysterio is a classic Spider-Man villain. My favorite villain of Spider-Man's the Lizard. I got that comic as a kid. So that's why he's my favorite. It's weird how you have these emotional connections to things like it. Do you believe the bubble is imminent? The 1990s crash. No. I don't think the 1990s crash was totally different. The 1990s crash was they printed, what was it, 7 million or was it 5 million? We can just look this up. Most printed comic book. Was it X-Men 1 or Spider-Man 1? X-Men 1. 8.2 million copies. 8.2 million copies. That's how many they're printing. That is why there's not a, if you print, you know how many comics, brand new comic books sell now? You know how many, if you're lucky? Unless they do one of those like, oh, we're going to have a bazillion variants, and in order to get this top variant, you have to buy 6,000 of number 1, and then we'll give you this great variant. No time was told for this. Sorry, I didn't know how to do these live events, to be honest. And the thing is, I'm doing it in between work stuff, so I didn't want to plan an exact time and then have to do something and then miss it. So I gave like a half-hour notice, but yeah, I don't think it will be like the what's it called, the 90s thing, because now comics are printed in like the 50,000, 100,000. If you're in Spider-Man, maybe you have like 150 to 250,000 printed of a particular issue, but there's nowhere near that much. And so what happened was all these people were buying 10, 20, 30. There's a news interview with this lady who's buying The Death of Superman. I can't remember, what was that, 93, 95? And she gets like 10 copies, and she's like, this is my kid's college fund in the future. And the reason why Action Comics #1 and Fantasy 15 and all that kind of stuff is supply and demand. There's not that many available. There's, I think for Action #1, there's probably around 100 available. So that's why it's so expensive. When you have 8 million copies of X-Men #1, the new one, there's just so much out there. But that is still worth more than what someone paid. What was the cover price of X-Men #1? Like $1, $2? I don't know what it was back then. But you can. I sold X-Men #1's raw on eBay for like $10. So it's gone up like 4, 5, 6 times whatever the cover price was. So you definitely made money. And surprisingly, there's 8 million copies out there. So I don't see the 9. I could see a pullback, but the thing is, the reason why it's going up so much, which I have a video on it today, yeah, is inflation. Inflation is the reason why comic books, houses, all that are going up. Inflation is normally 2% a year, but we are not. The feds are lying to you when they say it's 2% this year. It is going to be, I've heard people say it's going to be like 4% to 10%. And what goes up during inflation is assets. So houses, collectibles such as comics, cryptocurrency, stocks, all that stuff is hitting record prices is because your dollar is worth less than it was before. That is why. I have a video coming out on Finding Out for Friday, so that's today. So I have to post that later. I bet if Keanu Reeves, the book will go up so much. And I bet if it is Keanu Reeves, the books will go up so much more. And do you own that? Yes, I do have They don't sit long. That's why I have to hold certain books back, like the Hulk 181. Oh, we have one right here. We have a 6.0. Yeah, that's our book. So yeah, we have a 6.0. I have a couple I think I've sent to CGC. So yeah, if you ever want to buy a book, please use the website, not eBay. But yeah, that'd be crazy if Keanu Reeves. I like Keanu Reeves. Although I just saw some dumb movie he was in. I was like, I love Keanu Reeves. And so he was in, I don't know what it's called. I watched it like a couple months ago. It's basically his family leaves on vacation. He's an architect or something. He has to get some work done. And these two random strangers come over. They're two girls. They're like hot girls. And then he ends up having sex with them. And then they won't leave. And they say they're underage. It's a very weird movie. I don't recommend it at all. Jamie Foxx will be back as Electro. Alfred, who is this guy? I don't know who this person is. Oh, him? He's not going to be back. He won't be back. I liked him as Doc Ock in the original, but although they are bringing back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, they're doing some weird like Spider-Verse, multiverse. So, which I'm excited for. Doctor Strange is probably, well, Chris Evans is probably my Captain America. Chris Evans was my favorite in the MCU, but now he is gone. So it will be Benedict Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange. It's probably my favorite. People will be reluctant to sell keys for less than they paid, so I don't see them going down much. Too many collectors invested in comics these days. People like tangible assets. True. Interesting fact. So, a lot of people go to Go Collector, the GPA, or they look what's sold on eBay to give a guide, especially if they're new. I meet a lot of new collectors, like my brother. He just buys Pokemon cards. He has no idea what he's paying for. He doesn't know what they're worth. He just goes on eBay and looks like, oh, it's worth this much. It's not worth that much. So I could take a Charizard, I could take this book right here, and I could put it up for $10 million. It doesn't mean it's worth $10 million. It's worth what someone paid. So, interesting enough, I bought some Super Mario comic books. So if you watch my hauls, you notice I buy a lot of Nintendo stuff. So I bought a Super Mario book. And I was going through and I was buying a bunch of them, seeing what were good deals. And I was, hitting up the dealers and going like, hey, will you take this, take this? Because I was buying them, that jacked up the price. And I literally talked to one person. He's like, oh, I'll give it to you for like $400. I'm like, okay, I don't know. Let me think about it. Because I was hoping to get it for $350. I then came back the next day and I said, yeah, I'll do $400. He's like, $400? Did I say $400? It's now $600. Only because I was buying so many of them, he looked at the recent sales and it was going up because of me. And so that instantly, because one person, me, decided to buy a bunch of them, that inflated the market. Now all of a sudden I set the bar for the new market. I did. Just by buying so many of them that I set the bar. It wasn't because other people saw value. It was because one person saw value in it. Now all those books are higher up. So now whenever someone lists a Nintendo game, comic book, they will look at the past sales and they'll see that it is now commanding a higher price. So now new people coming in to buy that have to pay that higher price that I set. So that's the crazy thing. It's so weird to me that that's how it works. It's like, someone sets a new price, like that action comic that sold for $2 million or whatever it was. Now, if you want that book, you have to pay that price or higher. Yeah. Also, Wanda Maximoff is still going to make a return. Now she's a witch and saw the episode. And do you own X-Men #4? Let's see. I think I do. I have some on this way to CGC. I know that for a fact. Nope, I do not have any X-Men 4. Unless... Nope. Nope. Giant size. I don't know if that's supposed to be up there. But, yeah. Yeah. Or maybe that's not my book. So we do consignments. So, although I'm not sure the first Echo. I saw that. It's so crazy. Like, yeah, I do this for a living, but it's like I see, like, out of the blue, it's just like this random book will just pop up on my radio. I saw that Echo thing, and I forget what book it was. I was like, who is this? It's just so hard to keep up with. There's so many shows and so many, like, sub-characters, and they just, like, skyrocket all of a sudden. But yeah. Is it Knock Knock? I don't know who Knock Knock is. It's a very creepy and weird movie and intense. Knock Knock! Oh, the movie? Might have been. I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. I just know it's two girls, and they screw his life over. They have sex with him, and they destroy his wife's art. And he has a nice house. I remember that much. And I'm like, and I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, Keanu Reeves, you already did John Wick 1 and 2 at this point. Like, why are you taking this role? Like, I don't know. Maybe it could have been cool. Maybe you're reading the script. I don't know. Just saw Man of Tai Chi yesterday. Keanu directed that. Man of Tai Chi. Interesting. Chinese martial arts film. Never heard of it. Thank you for your insider questions, folks. Thank you very much. Yeah, 1 5 Alright, I FOMO'd myself. I have a lot of them. So, it's not FOMO. I think, here's a tip for you guys. Nintendo has to, as a company, has to move onto something else if they want to grow. They had a baseball team. They had the Mariners. They opened 2 theme parks, one in Japan and one here. I don't know when the one here opens. And here I think it's in Florida, and I think they're going to open one in California. But, yeah. So I think they're going to get into movies. So, all right. Well, I got to go. I have to go back to work. So, thank you.